welcome to Daily Dictation. This week we're going to talk about vocabulary related to the workplace and specifically workplace decisions. This is an interactive video. We are going to do an English activity together that will help you improve your listening skills and help you improve your writing skills. To do that, I am going to read 5 sentences about this topic at a low intermediate level. You are going to write down each sentence the best that you can. You should apply the proper spelling, punctuation, grammar, and capitalization in your writing. Now, after I read all 5 sentences, you are going to check the sentences. I'll show you the answers, and then I'll explain some spelling tips and some grammar tips and explanations with you. This is really good if you are planning to do a standardized or proficiency test, such as IELTS, TOEFL, CELPIP, or PTE, anything like that, because there's always a listening component and a writing component to these exams, and this will really help you improve skills for that. So let's get started. This skill works best if you're able to practice it a little bit every day. So I have new videos from Monday to Friday. There are new sentences each weekday, new topics each week, and there's 2 English levels offered if you find that this is a little bit too easy for you. Now, about this activity, you will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil or a blank document that you can type into. 5 sentences will be read. Each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence, and you will use your listening skills to do this. You should try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization for each sentence. So if you look on the screen here, you're going to see numbers 1 to 5. Each of these numbers represent a different sentence that will be read. I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1, we have the option to change the deadline or adjust our strategy. We have the option to change the deadline or adjust our strategy. We have the option to change the deadline or adjust our strategy. Number 2, the task was completed on time. The task was completed on time. The task was completed on time. Number 3, the action plan was created to address the issue and meet our goal. The action plan was created to address the issue and meet our goal. The action plan was created to address the issue and meet our goal. Number 4, we need to review the strategy before we vote. We need to review the strategy before we vote. We need to review the strategy before we vote. Number 5, the vote will decide how to do the task. The vote will decide how to do the task. The vote will decide how to do the task. Now I'm going to read each sentence 1 more time, starting with sentence number 1. We have the option to change the deadline or adjust our strategy. Number 2, the task was completed on time. Number 3, the action plan was created to address the issue and meet our goal. Number 4, we need to review the strategy before we vote. Number 5, the vote will decide how to do the task. All right, I'm sure everybody did a wonderful job writing down these sentences. Let's get ready to check our answers. If you found that this video was too difficult to get those sentences and write them down, you can listen again. If it was too fast, when you listen again, you can adjust the playback speed and make the video go slower. You can also check the description for timestamps, and this will help you listen to specific sentence numbers again. If you feel like you got everything and you want to see the answers, let's go ahead and check them. Starting with number 1. We have the option to change the deadline or adjust our strategy. Okay, let's break this one down. Okay, so we're starting with our subject, we. Because it's plural, we're going to have this form of have, that's our verb. The option, this is a noun here. And now we have our infinitive here. So when we have to plus the base form of the verb, we call this the infinitive. And then we have the deadline. This is another noun that we have here, and we have an option. So we have either this noun, so this is option 1. When we're presenting 2 options, so changing the deadline is one option, or adjusting our strategy, this is option 2. When we're presenting 2 options, we use the word or to present 2 options. All right, so let's have a look at number 2. Number 2, the task was completed on time. The task, this is our subject. And it's singular because we have no S on here, only one task, not many. If it was plural, we would have an S on here, but we don't. So we're going to use the singular form of be, and we're using it in the past. Was completed on time. So whenever we're saying that something is on time, we use the preposition on and time. When we have 2 words that go together really often, in English, we call it a collocation. So it's 2 words that go together all the time. On time is one of those examples. Number 3. The action plan was created to address the issue and meet our goal. Okay, so the action plan is our subject. Again, there's no S on the word plan, which means that it's singular. So we're going to use the singular form of be in the past because we are trying to convey this in past, simple past tense. Created to address. Again, we have another infinitive here because we have to plus the base form of the verb. So it's the infinitive. So we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here. After the form of be, we could have the infinitive, or after a non-action verb, we could have the infinitive as well. So the issue and meet our goal. So here we have 2 nouns, right? The issue is one, and meeting our goal is the second thing. So option 1 and option 2. However, there's actually not really options because they are both happening. So because we're using both of these things at the same time to mean that both of these things are happening, we're using and in here to say that both things are happening, not one or the other, but both at the same time. So that's the difference between and or. Number 4, we need to review the strategy before we vote. So before in our last sentence, I said that after non-action verbs, sometimes we have an infinitive, and this is an example of that. We is our subject. Need is a non-action verb. So this follows special rules sometimes, and we don't put ing on it. So we don't often say we are needing, for example. We keep it in this base form. And when we keep it, so we have the subject plus the verb in the base form, the non-action verb in the base form, then we follow with an infinitive very commonly. So the non-action verb need stays in the base form, and then we follow with an infinitive. This is a really common structure, subject plus non-action verb in base form plus infinitive, very common. This is the object, the strategy, before we vote, conjunction before, and then we vote. And of course, we're keeping this because this is in the simple present tense. This will also be in the simple present tense. So we want the verb tense consistency there. The vote will decide how to do the task. Okay, so the vote is our subject. And of course, now we are doing a simple present because we have will plus the base form of the verb, which is simple present tense. Will decide how to do the task. So, how to do. These 3 words come together often. How to do something. And then it's usually a noun that follows. So the vote will decide how to do. These 3 words will always come in this order. You don't change the order. And then the task is the noun. Okay, so these are some of the grammar things. Now we can see that some of the words option, deadline, strategy, task, action plan, issue, goal, vote, review, task, all of these words are words that we're focusing on this week. So let's look closer at this list of words here. So these are the words that are related to the topic of workplace decisions. Again, option, task, goal, issue, action plan, review, outcome, vote, deadline, strategy. If you are planning to do IELTS or something like this, these vocabulary words are really good to know because the topic of work does come up. And if your job entails making decisions or involves making decisions, then you should be comfortable explaining that using these words. And this shows that you have a good range of vocabulary. So make sure you know whether they are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Make sure that you know the different forms of them, how to put them in your own sentences when you're speaking and you're writing. And that would be really, really good for expanding your vocabulary. And besides that, we are all finished for today. So thank you so much for watching. Please come again for more videos this week. There's going to be more sentences on this topic, so you get to practice these words a little bit more and practice the spelling. Thank you so much for joining. Keep doing the best you can. I'll see you next time. Bye.